Now presenting Mr. Mike Coyne, Governor's Hurricane Conference board member representing the National Weather Service.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our next award is the Tropical Meteorology Award. It's presented to an individual or organization that has made outstanding or substantial contributions to the advancement and knowledge, application, or understanding of the hurricane forecasting and warning process in the state of Florida. Since 2004, Mr. Mike Boylan has been educating people about trends, model runs, and everything else tropical weather related through his website. He does not forecast, but his dedication and contributions to the citizens of Florida and providing tropical weather information in layman's terms, helping to explain what the forecast trends mean and how to follow all the extensive maps, charts, and graphs located on his website, Mike's weather page, aka spaghettymodels.com. The 2021 Tropical Meteorology Award goes to Mike Boylan of Mike's weather page.
Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation. Well, there'll always be some haters. They don't understand. Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend, Mike, he's your man. And he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, you're in Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation.
All right. What's up, everybody? I'm up, as you might know. Some of you might have been going to bed when I was posting, and I was still posting when you probably got up. Because for some reason I woke up about 12:30 and I couldn't go back to sleep. And that's a bad feeling. I probably shouldn't have picked the phone up, but I wanted to see the 00Z GFS. So when I was younger doing this, I could do that kind of stuff. But now I like to go to bed early. I like to get up early. But I also like to go to bed early. So then I'm like, oh my God, then it's 1 o'clock. And I'm like, I might as well stay up for the Euro. Because the Euro starts running about 1:30, right? So I'm like, well, I'll just stay up for the Euro. And then it's like 2. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Now it's like 2:30. And I made a joke online. Jim Cantori is one of my heroes. And been watching him forever. And he starts posting in the 3 o'clock hour. And every day. It doesn't matter what day it is. He's it's curious. You're curious today. This is long ago, by the way. He's over there. You're fine. You're fine. Anyway, I'm like, well, as soon as Cantori posts, I'm getting up. And he posted like at 3:58. I'm like, that's it. I'm up. So I went storm chasing. We had a little storm cloud. What are you looking for over there? You looking for your brother? All right. Well, here's Longo, everybody. Say hello. Here's the little boy. A little bit calmer today. They know something's up because the suitcases are out. So anyway, I was up, went to Dunedin Causeway and saw some cool lightning. I tried to take some video with my truck, and the problem is the truck made the lighting all messed up. And every time I thought I got lightning, it didn't work. So then I just got the sunset instead. So. Yeah, Chris, what's up? Yeah, Cantori. So he posted, I was his first post. He says, well, I guess you're staying up. So here we are. No complaints. Just got 3 hours sleep. That's all. So we're taking you with us. Yeah, give me a kiss. Mwah. So it's move-in day for Emily. Oh, God, I keep listening to that Kenny Chesney song. There Goes My Life. I knew that song was going to get me one day. 20 years ago when that song came out, I'm like, I'm going to dread the day that we have a kid. And here we have a kid. And I'm going to play There Goes My Life tonight. And maybe have a ABC Fine Wine and Spirit drink or two. We can all cheers together. We'll do that tonight, okay? Then I got yelled at because I didn't post Sarah's nails. I guess I got to post Sarah's nails. I didn't do that yet. Her school nails. My brew crew reminded me. So, all that rambling. What's up? I'm Mike. Mike's Weather Page. Good to meet you. We've been streaming live since 2016. We're growing. What?
The toilet paper is everywhere in the bathroom.
Okay. The song does get to me every time too, Robert. Julie just informed me that Longo just got into the toilet paper. We got pictures of Emily doing that as an infant. Can you find that picture? Can you go to Google Photos? There's a picture of Emily with the toilet paper all messed up. So we might not be live tomorrow. Okay, pay attention to that. We might only stream to the Brew Crew. I don't know the setup yet. I'll let everybody know. Shelly will be the first to know. But we're definitely going to be posting videos as always. I always do our 90-second reels. I'll be doing one later this afternoon once all the afternoon models run. So keeping everybody up. First off, there's nothing to stress about. There's no worries. The only people worrying in the short term would be Bermuda from Invest 96. That's looking like very small chances it could head that way. The wave that we've been talking about from Africa isn't on the NHC map yet. So there's nothing right now to worry about. There shouldn't be anybody canceling plans. We got a little increased rain here and there. So there shouldn't be any stress. There's nothing that I'm watching that I'm stressed about. So I hope that comes across. So big thanks to ABC Fine Wine Spirits. As I mentioned, I'm visiting them today in Winter Park area because of Emily, and I will share tonight what I decide to get. And we're going to say hi for a few minutes. So, Rockledge, hey Chad, yeah. Hey, a couple people saw me down at the Dunedin Causeway today. I took the truck out and left about 4 o'clock. I debated waking Julie up. I'm like, should I wake up Julie and tell her I'm leaving? And I did. But then I'm thinking, well, then she probably would have heard the truck anyways and wondered where the hell I'm going at 4 in the morning. But yeah, toilet paper, Julie, everywhere. Richard Reimer, what's up, buddy? How's everybody over there on YouTube land, X land, the Post Police? That's what we're trying to talk over there in the Brew Crew. What do we call? This is the trend of the year. Everybody spends more time telling everybody what they should and shouldn't post, and what they should read and what they shouldn't read. And I'm like, I'm just so tired of it. Everybody's telling everybody what they can post and shouldn't post and who you should trust. And I'm like, we're just going to do what we do. I did read comments this morning. I probably shouldn't have. I was laying in bed bored because I was like, I'm wide awake, I saw some really disturbing posts from people that think that I'm evil. They think that I'm like, so I told Shelly this morning, so our new strategy is when we ban somebody, it's not that we're doing it to be mean. We're doing it for you. Because if you actually take the time and effort to tell me how awful I am and how much I fear monger and do it for clicks, probably it's best that you don't have to be bothered by the stuff that's stressing you out. That's my new positive outlook. I am going to ban people for the goodness of you. I'm doing you a favor if you get banned. Consider it a gift. Because there was 2 people this morning I wanted to so bad, but it was fun to see And the second thing I thought about was you all, my diehards, right? We have millions of followers that have been on the page, and they understand what I do, and I think it'd be awesome if you could help me when you see one of these posts. Tell them I'm not that guy. What's up, Gus? Yeah, but oh man, because I love looking at long range tropics. That's what we do. It's what I've always done. Come here, Longo. So anyway, it's all good. It's all fine. I didn't lose sleep because of that. I lost sleep because I took a little nap yesterday and I went to bed halfway early. And guess what? I only usually get 5 hours sleep. So I went to bed probably at 9. Woke up at 12:30. But anyway, so whatever. So I'll be on the Bone today, 102.5 with John Sinney. And if you got any local folks that listen to the Bone 102.5, had a great segment with Fox Weather yesterday. Hope you got to see that. It was a really good one. I liked it a lot. And there you go. There's the Tropics. All right, we're going to talk about it. I want to say hi for a few more people. Hey, thanks, Richard. I'm glad you saw it. Marco. Where the heck's Marco? Marco Island, Julie? Port St. Lucie? Love that area, other side of the coast. A1A is a great little drive. You can take it all the way up to you, Shelly, right? A1A? Well, who else we got real quick? All right. Feels. I would like to think so, Sway. There goes my life. Oh, God, I'm so... Hey, Weatherman. Hey, some of the badges disappeared, but then some of them are back. I don't know what's going on. It's always been a glitch, right, Shelly? We get it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. I think it's time to make it the Storm Chaser now or something. Yes! That's probably if there's an ABC in Winter Park, that's where we're heading. All right, so let's talk about that topic. I'm going to read comments as we go. But first off, again, there's nothing to stress about. I know many people are worried about plans. I wouldn't, I'm going to Daytona in a couple weeks. I've emailed my buddy here from Daytona. I can't show you the name. I don't want to get him in trouble. But let's see if I can hide it good because I don't want anybody to see who he is. He's a big dog there, right there. See, Daytona. I was like, are you watching the weather? But right now, there's nothing to stress about. Just be aware of the tropic. Hey, guess what? Hurricane season. Imagine that. There might be something brewing. Wow. You can't make plans in August and September and October and not know that the hurricane season might have something popping. So you got to kind of like understand that, I guess, right? All right, so a couple things. What do I have open here? There you go. That was a pretty cool picture yesterday. I was going to Dad's, right? I looked over to the west. Big old cloud leaning forward. Looks like falling over, right? So I whipped out the old Mike's Weather page, obviously, and pulled up the wind map. And guess what? We had strong jet stream winds coming up from the southwest, okay? Exactly what that cloud does. They go up, and then the winds blow them that way. And that's so cool. That's wind shear. The strong winds blew those clouds over, and that's what happens with developing tropical systems. When there's a lot of wind shear, the storms get disrupted. I'm going to show you wind shear here with Dexter. Dexter's experiencing it right now. I'm surprised it's still named. It's almost a naked swirl. I think it just went subtropical. So, Dr. R.S., good morning. Doctor, everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody woke up. Why is everybody woke up? Awaken. Waked up. I don't know what you say. About the same time. So maybe there was like a secret something that went through the air and everybody like woke up. All right, here's your weather map today. Got a lot of heat out west, Mississippi westward. There's Zippo going on. We got a little bit of bad. Oh God, there goes my monitor. Just fell over. Great. My weather in a nutshell hat is fumbled. That's it. We don't have any heavy rain. We don't have any flooding rains. We don't have any flood watches up. Just everything's out west. So pretty quiet day, right? We've been dealing with heat warnings, flooding warnings. Let's look at almost nothing. So that's good news. We do have a new outlook map. This is not good. Hazardous heat coming back, 812 to 813 for everybody in the southeast again. Lower Georgia, Alabama, most of Florida. Hazardous heat, 812, 813. Heavy rain up north. We've had a lot of systems sliding across the upper jet stream up there. We had less tornado outbreaks. We had one yesterday going through Minnesota. You see that one? It looked a little land cane. But the jet stream's whipping horizontally, and we don't get a lot of tornadoes, just straight line winds. Next 3 days, here's what we're talking about. There's big storms in North Dakota today and around this today. Here's Friday. It slides a little bit over towards Minnesota. Hey, what do you call an 8-ounce can of Coke? A Minnesota. Dad jokes. I started following a dad joke page on X. So there you go. That's tomorrow, and then on Saturday it extends a little bit more into Wisconsin. So there you go. That's where all the storms are at the next 3 days. Drought came out on Thursday, and South Florida still needs rain. We got a little bit more actually in the red. The red doubled almost. It did double. Last week we were at 0.8 coverage, 0.8% of Florida. Now the red's at 1.6% coverage. So we have more red in South Florida. You might wonder, it rains down there. It doesn't rain like it should be raining. It's definitely, and that's the Everglades. We've had a lot of winds coming in out of the Atlantic, keeping things dry, a lot of dust, a lot of dry air that's been slowing hurricane season down a little bit too down there through the Caribbean. But there you go. There's the latest drought map for Florida if you're wondering. Here's a rainfall. This is kind of where we're leading into. Now look at this. Oh, God, I wish this was better. Why? We need to darken the outlines. You can't really see Florida here. What's going on? There's Florida. There's the outline. I don't know if it's going to stay there or not. Anyway. Well, you can see West Coast rains. This is West Coast Florida rains. Well, holy cow, I just went fast forward in time. All right, so just watch the rain build up. This is through Friday, Saturday. Here's rain through Sunday. Notice the red here. This is central western part of Florida. A little bit there in Georgia. We're going to talk tropics, but this is that tropical juice that was coming up. A little bit of leftover front, a little bit of low pressure. This is through the weekend. So there's your rainfall. Pretty heavy. Could have some pockets to get 3, 4, 5 inches of rain. Spread out amongst many days. But you can just see the rain. This is rainfall through Thursday. Look, it's pretty cool to see, right? A little bit of Louisiana there all the way to Carolina, but mainly down here. So that's that. We look at 24-hour rainfall, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is why you don't ever cancel plans, because it just kind of comes and goes as it pleases. It's not all at one time. And you can see a little bubble. You can kind of see the flow. Look, there were some models showing a low. This is Monday here. So really, Saturday rains. Sunday, Monday, and it gets a lot better on Tuesday. So, like, Vicky, are you watching? My old friend from up north. Anybody renting for a week, you're going to have a day or two of rain, but guess what? By Tuesday, Wednesday, it's almost gone. So, and then we're in a little high-pressure pocket. And you know why we have that excessive heat coming back? Because high pressure comes back midweek, and look, no rain. So if you got any plans like going on the boat, don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes, Kimberly. Yep. It's Florida. It's going to rain. So that's it, right? Look at that. Then we got really nothing. Look at a little blob coming. This is, there was a little wave. Remember that? Did you watch my little, do y'all like my weather in a nutshell videos? I talked about some of the ensembles were showing a little spot down there in the Caribbean ahead of this other one, and this is probably it. Coming up, a little bit of tropical juice maybe. This is Friday, a week, the 16th. So could be a little rain coming into Texas and Louisiana later in the week. This is a blend of models, so it's usually kind of high confidence. It doesn't tell you exact totals, but it tells you the idea. And here's the idea on Friday into Saturday. So we could have a little blob of something coming up the end of the week. And it's a blend of models, so that usually it's a little more high confidence than just picking one or two models. Okay, let's talk hurricanes. How about that? All right, so this came out yesterday. Let's say hi for a few more minutes. You like the weather. Good, Roya. Appreciate that. Everybody, thank you, Ryan. Thank you. I make them 90 seconds. Does anybody look at Facebook stories? Shelly, you notice I've been doing that a lot now, finally. It took you 3 years for me to do it. Shelly's been trying to get me to do things, and it takes 3 years to teach an old dog new tricks. By the way, I'm drinking Starbucks because my Julie picked up Starbucks for Sarah. And I like it. 5 years. So yeah, I'm trying to do the shorts a little bit more. So at least everything looks fine. Nobody's got anything coming that looks like, oh no. A little bit of rain in the upper Gulf, West Coast, Florida for the next few days. And then we got some rain looking like in the Western Gulf into the more weekend. But nothing significant to hype up. You know? I never go against the National Hurricane Center. Obviously, you know they're the big dogs. They didn't question me on that spot off the Atlantic, though. We never had really any model support at all. And please verify that somebody that we talked about this on these shows that I still reported it as they reported it, but it never made sense because we never had any ensemble support. We never had any operational runs showing anything. It was like, but it didn't work out. So again, I think it's good to look at all models, look at all ensembles, and you kind of hope got the sense that maybe some rain tomorrow from that leftover front, but we never saw anything on that one. And it's not going to happen. It might happen way off. We're going to talk about that, but anyways. So this came out yesterday. Colorado State University updates their outlooks, and some people like it, some people don't, but they do update their outlooks, and it's, they do it, like it or love it or not. But this includes what we've already had, which is 4 named storms. So they still expect 12 more named storms, with 8 of those being hurricanes. That's a little crazy to think that we have not had a hurricane yet, and they expect 8 hurricanes out of the next 12. So they're expecting things to get a little active. You know, we got neutral La Nina and warm water, basically. That's really it. I mean, and there's some foreseen and stuff over in the Indian Ocean showing up, and there's stuff over Africa that controls our weather. All these little things. You know, the trends that I've noticed is a lot of work goes into these long-range forecasts on what they think based on the modeling, right? And then it doesn't happen. But then there's all this analysis of why it didn't happen. But it's like, but you didn't, science or whatever wasn't good enough to predict what happened you know what I'm saying? It's like, we just don't know. That's what I'm getting at. I mean, we look at weather patterns, and I keep seeing these fronts coming down, and I keep seeing, I think, the opportunity for, waves to go a little more north. I mean, we're seeing that. We're seeing the warmer water. That's a given. So now this comes down to, we know there's going to be storms. We know there's going to be fronts, that usually means a little bit more end of season activity with storms pulling up from the Caribbean because we have fronts showing up in the scene. So, you just don't never know, man. Every year, starting out with 16, 17, every year we've been doing this hard, every year there's been a different pattern and a different storm that made the story. Even 23, we had the 4th active season on record, and Idalia was the only one. So we had 19 storms nobody cared about. It's like the public wants a lot of, we want a lot of storms, but we don't want a lot of storms. But then you get hit, and it's like, but I didn't get hit, so it was a bust season because I didn't get hit. It's like, I get it. Hey, look at Robert Bowman over there. Yeah, there's a lot of Bowman, Robert, buddy, you brought up a good point. There's a lot of discussion about the volcanoes. So somebody on YouTube just said they like my shorts, and you know what dumb me did? I looked down. I was like, how did you know my shorts? I know we're talking about something else. Hey, I did have a collared shirt on for Fox yesterday, but I also wore my $10 Walmart camo pants underneath it. So, Matt, zero chance of that, man. I am so confident. We're going to get into that, but he's asking about Invest 96. That storm is going northbound. So, my chase vehicle, Craig, it's the same one, man. I thought I had a picture of it this morning. Why didn't I pull it up? I took a really good picture this morning watching the sun come up. Let's see if I can find it real quick. So anyway, the CSU here, these are the numbers if you're curious. This is what they predict for the rest of the season. And, it's still active. I mean, 8 hurricanes. 3 of those being major. Now, I got confused years ago. I thought it was 8 plus 3. It's actually 8. And then of those 8, I actually clarified it one year. I'm like, does that mean? Somebody's asked about my truck, so here you go. There's my truck. I do have red lock. I have not red. They are multicolor app-controlled rock lights. I put them in like 6-7 years ago, and they still work. I got 2 in the hood scoop and 2 on the side, and I can change the colors. So when I'm parked like that, I put red on there. And when I'm driving, I have amber. So that's what it is, man. It's an 18 Silverado. Ruth, that's it, man. That's what they do. They look at what happened, what caused this to happen, and then they apply that knowledge next time. But nobody can predict the amount of dust, it seems like, and nobody can predict the amount of, which dust is controlled by a lot by the strong winds, which, prevents waves from slowing down to spin and develop. And the other thing they really can't predict is where these waves are going to exit. They exit to the north, to the south, and that contributes a lot, where that intertropics convergence zone line usually is. So those are things that end up being bigger players in the season that just can't be predicted. How strong the Bermuda High is going to be. Like right now, we're seeing a lot of disruption in that Bermuda High. And it seemed like in 23, and what year was it? One of the years we started getting fronts, and then all of a sudden everything just got chaotic in the Atlantic, and there was never a big blocking high. It was a bunch of little highs, and these storms were curving because there was gaps, and that's kind of what we're seeing in the next 3 systems. So nobody really knows, is that Bermuda High build back in? If it builds back in, we're going to have waves coming by. But to me, so anyway, there's my truck. I love my truck. I just hope it can make it a couple more years. I don't want to have to start over again. All right, so here's what we got. There's back to these numbers again. This is an interesting number. ACE. We have literally no ACE this year. That's accumulated cyclonic energy. But west of 60. 87 out of 140. So 60 is basically the Lesser Antilles, and that's storms that matter, not fish storms. So still quite a bit of ACE there, and then yeah. So there you go. We'll see. There's Dexter going bye-bye. It just turned extra tropical, I believe. Whatever that means. Bigger, less, I don't even know. I mean, whatever. It might be a hurricane. Subtropical. Extra tropical. I don't know. But there you go. It's heading over to Ireland. Anybody in Ireland? You might get some weather. There's my truck again. All right. This is what it looks like now. This is that naked swirl. All that convection. This is wind shear, and this is why it's not getting, well, a couple reasons. Water temperatures, but more than anything, wind shear. And look at that. You can see the swirl right here, and you really see it right here. This is my most super duper favorite satellite in the world. Yellow is the lower level circulation, which shows up beautifully. You can see low level spin, like awesome. But the white clouds are the upper level convection, and you can see that's getting shoved off to the northeast because of wind shear. Now, just for fun, you can see this in real time in a bazillion different ways. But I always go back to this map because I like it. And we can go to maybe 500 maybe. And we can go to 500 level. And look at that. Where is it? I thought it'd be better than that, actually. Here's 700 level. So you got a little bit of spin. But once that storm wants to rise, which it needs almost go to the jet stream to be bad hurricane, we get the 500 millibar lower level or upper level winds so strong coming across and blowing that convection. You know, and I haven't shown my adult toy in a long time, so I feel like it. I don't think I've showed it enough over the years, but this is the perfect hurricane, okay? It is called Fisher. Fisher the Cat 5. Now, lower level winds, 1,000 millibar, 850, 700, 500, 250. When everything stacks up, man, then you get like almost a tornado, but it's really a hurricane. And you get the gap, the eye, right? Everything lines up. Ooh, man, I cannot do that. I can almost try to do that. But when you get the strong winds, right, coming across, all these now get displaced. And we don't have that upper level stacking anymore. We get sloppy, and it's such a cool way. And, it, you know... Fisher, Hurricane Fisher. But there's that's some serious wind shear. Look at 250, I assume. Oh my God! That is some serious jet stream action right there. All right, let's talk about what's going on currently, though. We already talked about that. There's the naked swirl. Here's the current map. All right, so we do not have the spot. And these are the folks that, Dennis, I'm going to borrow your band button. Because we look past the 7 days and we look at other what ifs, right? So this is usually the post that gets shared to me when that wave coming off Africa, we're going to go into great detail here in a second. They're like, yeah, this is the official map. You're hyping for clicks. I'm like, no, I'm talking about what might be next. But this is official. So, I wish when we got rid of somebody, we could say redirect to the NHC, because this is what you need to know. I mean, the 7 day, they don't want to go any farther than that because so much can change, you know, and it's very confusing to a lot of folks. I mean, I like to think that we're a bunch of weather nerds. That's kind of funny because that's what we said yesterday, us weather nerds, because there's a website, Matt, weathernerds.org. But we like to look at down the road stuff, right? But this is official, and this is where we're at. So the 30% mark, I don't think it's going to do anything. I don't even think it's going to bring any rain. It's more attached to a front line. And, said it yesterday, do not cancel any plans. You might get some rain in the Carolinas tomorrow, Friday, but by the weekend, it's gone. So, but what's interesting about this, remember I was talking about the high pressure in the Bermuda? My dad and I talk about it all the time. When you have a strong Bermuda high, everything just keeps flowing, right? And usually years like we were in, like last year, we had a strong Bermuda high. We had a lot of stuff coming across that came through here. So far, this has been an odd year. We've had a lot of fronts. And what fronts do is they weaken this high and it retreats a little bit. And all these systems are doing this. And, we're going to have named storms. But like we say every year, if they're all fish storms, who cares, right? I mean, half the internet gets mad when we don't get hit. The other half obviously doesn't want to get hit. And then the ones that think they want to get hit, when they do get hit, they never want to get hit again. I think the excitement and unknowns is what a lot of us are attracted to. Because I say us because I was there one day until I was a homeowner. I was that guy putting masking tape on the windows thinking that was going to stop Hurricane Charlie from destroying our house. Never took the masking tape off. And for 10 years, we had masking tape on the windows. Bermuda cares. Susan, I've already mentioned Bermuda a bunch. Yes. And I specifically in my post mentioned Bermuda. I maybe years ago I didn't, but I do. And I've been trying to keep that flow going east of you. So we're going to talk about that. But what this is doing is this. Dexter's going to do this. It's going to pull this with it, and it's going to pull this with it. That's what it does. We have a weakness, a gap. Now, coming off of Africa is this. The question mark is this. Is there enough time for the gap to form that's going to keep this driving west? Because if the gap doesn't fill, then we're going to have another recurve. And believe it or not, we're seeing a little bit more ensembles showing a recurve. But, I'm telling you, these fronts aren't going to keep coming down. Not in September, maybe late September. But so we're going to get these, I call them Florence, these temporary bumps. I mean, so we just got to be cautious of thinking that. And then, you kind of know from where I'm at this year. This is what I'm. If I had to call the storm we're going to, deal with, it's going to be a little bit of pull to the north because of weakness, and then we're going to have a high build back in, and then we're going to have a little bit more shove to the west. So nothing's affected, but that's where we're at. All right. So I posted this yesterday. I haven't looked today. This is going to be only for one reason. Google AI I think has been terrible this year for sniffing out storms. Last year, everybody bragged about it. It was top of headlines. How great it was, and maybe it was great for one storm. Every model's good once, but it's been really predicting the Eastern Gulf the end of the week this weekend, and I don't know. I don't see any more support for any sort of low. So we'll see. If it's just I did this to prove if it doesn't happen, then the Google AI failed again. You know who else failed? Bad. Now, this is where I learn words. I've learned. All right, so we got the ensembles here from Tropical or Weather Nerds. Oh, that's not the right storm. The hell am I clicking here? Dexter. Oh, we need Invest 96. Where the hell is it at? Right here. Okay. All right, so ensembles, GFS. GFS, since Ian, I hate it. Like, it is wrong 80% of the time. It was wrong at the beginning of the year. People kind of forgot. And then when we started talking about Invest 96, that every GFS run took the internet by storm because it was showing a hurricane in Upper Gulf. It was showing Florida, Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. It was showing Jacksonville. It was showing everybody up and down the East Coast and Gulf was getting a GFS hurricane from this Invest 96, right? Every single run. And then magically yesterday, guess what? Every single ensemble now is copycatting the Euro. So how can it fail so bad? And here's where words I could have really messed up with a post. I was going to say I was disappointed in the GFS. Guaranteed everybody would have come out thinking that I was sad that we didn't get a hurricane because I said I was disappointed. And I'm like, man, I'm so glad I caught myself because that would have not come out right. Most people would have read that as what I'm intended it for. But there'd be some like, oh, yeah, we know you're cheering for hurricanes. No, I'm disappointed that the GFS is so wrong. I can't. How can it be so wrong? I understand long-range models, so don't let them run that long. I mean, I swear 10 years ago I could put 10-day models out and they were right more than wrong. And I don't know what's going on, and it's not the day. It's not. And by the way, we haven't lost any data yet. And I guess the word on the street is, they're hiring more Met. So I don't think cuts or not, nothing's been affected yet. So we have the data there now, and none of the models are consistent. They're all just doing everything. It's like, man, I think they just get over-engineered. What's that KISS like? Keep it simple. Because we overthink things, and I was talking to Joe over in MWP chat. I think the Canadian model is the most consistent model we got. And it's funny because that used to be the laughing stock of the internet world. And now it's like stable. It doesn't knee-jerk reaction run to run. It's pretty consistent. You know, it's like, how could because they probably haven't changed it that much. They probably kept it the same. Anyway, so the GFS flipped, and it's just like, it's almost like, well, Euro's the king, you know. 10 o'clock, all right. So believe it or not, okay, you know, so here, I had to show this. This was I'm laying in bed, okay. The Pixel doesn't have a stylus, and I forgot to thank you for y'all because I couldn't ever remember the name of the pointy thing because I don't have one. I'm not an Apple guy, so I don't have Apple pens and Apple pineapple pen, or what was that song? Sarah, remember pineapple apple pen. So anyway, this is the 00Z run this morning on the top. So yes, 3 runs ago the Euro had our wave that's not marked. Now we're only talking about the wave that's not even marked. This is the one that's getting a lot of chatter. It's a middle of the month wave. It's going to be nearing the Lesser Antilles around the 14th and 15th, okay? That's a week from now. So if you're down in the islands, you know, this time next week, we're going to be seeing a potential wave. Now, it might be to your north, but that same, you know, 50, 60 degree mark that we've been talking a lot about. So 2 runs ago, the Euro went to the Yucatan. Yesterday's 12Z, it curved it all the way up right here. And then last night's 00Z, which you can kind of make out with my fingertip. I got big fingers, I guess. It's so hard to do that on a little screen. It went farther to the west. Now, I didn't post it on Facebook or Instagram. I only posted it on X. I couldn't handle a lot of grief, but there was a pretty funny run yesterday on the GFS with 2 look like eyeballs. Well, or other things that look round and pointy. Both sides of Florida. And of course, that was everybody sharing it. Everybody's yelling at everybody for sharing it. People would share it and say, nobody should be sharing this. But they shared it by time. Anyway, this overnight run on the Euro almost mimicked the GFS, okay, as far as 2 storms. So the idea is the middle of the month, there might be a lot of things popping. Now, whether they're curving, we don't know, but it's going to happen. We're going to get wave trains. I call it the African wave train for a reason, okay? So don't laugh too much at that GFS last night because the overnight Euro is kind of showing, and this one ended up going kind of in the Gulf a little bit. So, but we're going to look at all the latest. But that was what that was. It was a sober post, by the way. All right, so then I ran these this morning because the 00Z's got the freshest data. And even though and this is another thing that's frustrating to me that more than ever is happening. Normally when we have a bunch of ensembles like this right here, we'll have when there's an invest, Weather Nerds puts a mean line, like an average of them. Most of the time, your operational run will kind of be somewhere in the middle of these 51 members because it averages the best guess. But the Euro did this, and most of its ensembles are doing that. So you kind of say the operational run is not really believable when a majority of the ensembles are showing more of a turn to the north. And this is for the wave that's not even marked yet. This is not Invest 96. They're not really developing Invest 96, honestly. So there you go. We're going to talk about these little lines here. This is a Euro. Oh, that's a GFS. I'm sorry. It's the same concept. Here's a Euro. Thank goodness it was the same because I would have really messed up big time. I usually put the Euro on top. I don't know why I put the GFS on top. Mix it up a little bit. But there's the Euro ensembles. And, you know, the majority of them are kind of showing a recurve. But like I said, the Euro operational run did that. Way to the south. So usually it's still not believable. So it goes back to yesterday's post. You know, we're going to have something here around the 14th and 15th and 16th, okay? But after that, it's anybody's guess. And now, it might even be farther. So, back to no worries, no stress. It's hurricane season. We're always going to have things to watch. It's nothing new. It's not hype. It's living in hurricane season. Okay, so then I looked at this morning. This is a blend of models. Now, you probably heard me over the course of this year, especially, is there's an option to click tropical depression or tropical storm or hurricane. If you hit tropical depression, you get a lot more color, a lot more chances. You get them everywhere. But this is tropical storm chances, okay? And it's decent, 20, 25%, 30%. Okay, this is the general area that the Euro blends all 51 members together. So it's right on track. This is the 16th here. I say the 15th because a lot of times, it could be here. So again, this is August 16th basically. Time stamps the same. About 7-8 days from now, we're going to be possibly looking at something nearing the islands. So decent support. It's just, what does it do? And nobody can predict that. But we do need to pay attention to all the options. So now we're going to go back to the main runs. Let me show you here on Tropical Tidbits. This is so now you kind of got an idea where the ensembles were at. But then we looked at the latest 00Z. It's kind of going against its own ensemble. So it enters the Western Antilles. This is the 14th. This is the 15th, 14th, 15th. It's early Friday morning. This next week. And, goes over Puerto Rico. This will be next Friday. So, again, just for timing purposes, if we were to see something down there. Remember, that's the big if, hope. I'm not going to change my messaging, I can tell you that. I think I've gotten better with my messaging, honestly. So, that would be this time next week. And it goes over Hispaniola. And then it gets a little nudge to the south. And it's kind of interesting because now we got this totally different system coming into play. This is kind of where the GFS was. But this is the last night run. Past 240 hours, forget about it. And there it goes. All right. Now, this is a whole new different one. Way down the road. We're not even going to talk about that one yet. But, so, again, I'm a little, not 100% believing it going this far south when most of the ensembles. But why do I mention Daytona? Well, here you go. Because we're leaving Monday. Okay. There it is. If it goes up here, then looks like Tuesday, Wednesday, So there's some comment somewhere. I'm not going to look. I'm not looking at comments right now because I can't. Somebody somewhere is typing, when's it going to hit Fort Pierce? Oh, man. But if it'd be the following weekend that we'd be getting close. How about that? And, here's kind of what they say about an African wave train. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's not hype, folks. That's normal. They call it that for a reason. And usually in history, you get one do that, then the high builds in, the next one does that, then the high, then the front comes in, then the next one does that. So that's why this one's really curious to me because these other three systems are doing that. It's going to give time for our high pressure to build back in. It might allow this one to go a little farther west, but the ensembles are saying maybe not even that. So that's, selfishly, because I vacation like everybody else. Hey, Mike, what's it going to be like for Daytona? I don't know, but I hope it recurves. I hope it doesn't hit Bermuda. I hope it doesn't hit anybody and goes off like that. All right, so that was that. Now, see, here's what's crazy. If we look at yesterday's run, it's completely different. Here's yesterday's 12Z. You could almost even argue it's not even the same piece of energy, but it kind of is because it slows it down. But look what it does. Hooks it. Here's the 15th and 16th. So you can argue it's the same one, I guess. But anyway, what I'm getting at is it found a weakness more than anything. Whether it's the same one or not, here's the 15th showing a weakness. Blue is weakness, frontal line, and it's pulling it away. And then we go to last night, or 2 days ago, 00Z, and it goes straight due west. See that? Well, actually, no. It went to South Florida. And this would be Wednesday, the 21st. One of the runs that went all the way down here, maybe that was 2 days ago. Man, and days just fly by. There it is. Okay, so it's just odd. The Euro's keeping it, the main operational run is keeping it lower than its ensembles. So, but you can't discredit the Euros. So that's definitely, that's why I emailed my buddy at Daytona. Austin, are you listening? Text me if you're listening. I don't think you have the patience to listen to me an hour and 10 minutes, honestly. Other pages, Lori. Yeah, see, oh, somebody did text me just now. Who's this guy? It wasn't Austin, though. Oh. Everything's inaccurate. All right. The pattern, though, is not. And it is a little, my video a couple days ago, I guess my alert level on this one's a little more than the Invest 96, just because we've, 4 runs out of 5 on the Euro has it kind of going west. So, there you go. Last GFS, 6Z. Do we even want to show the GFS? But it's kind of curving it. Oh, let's look at Bermuda real quick. Well, actually, so the Euro hasn't been the Euro has not been developing Invest 96. That's kind of why I haven't been too stressed about Bermuda yet. GFS sometimes does and sometimes doesn't. But man, why are we shouldn't even be showing GFS. But anyway, last night 00Z, it did go west. It did develop our system though. I mean, we do need to point it out. Bermuda, the untrustworthy GFS is showing something about 5 days from now. Actually, you know what we look at here now that we have these models? There are a couple of them actually showing. So yeah, but okay, well that's the wrong model. We were looking at this one. So we'll go to Tropical Tidbits and look at the main operational global models. And I mean, here's Bermuda. There's a few over here. I mean, it's close. Usually the east side of a hurricane is the worst. So a passing to your east would be better than a passing to your west. So, yeah, I mean, I'd just be cautiously looking at it. I mean, Euro ain't doing anything with it. But GFSs. But there's last night's 00Z run. Same timing. There's the 15th, 16th down the Western Antilles. And it kind of goes into the Gulf. So take it for what it's worth. Here's around the 18th, 19th, 20th. Canadian, let's see what it's been doing. Like I said before, it's been pretty good this last few years. It's showing a 1,013 millibar system east of Bermuda. Here's our new little wave setting up down there on the 11th. And it starts popping it here on the 15th. And it doesn't look like much, but it's there. And any weaker system guaranteed is going to go farther to the west than a stronger system. And there it is. It's not developed yet. This only goes out 10 days, but same time frame. Here's the 15th. So when I say things that you want to see in the tropics is some sort of consistency. And if we look at the 15th, here is the Friday morning right here. Friday morning on the Euro. Here's Friday morning on Canadian. The little dot right there is something trying to get going. And then the 00Z or GFS, typically better than the 6Z and 18Z. Here's Friday morning on that. Here it is right here. A little slower, but Friday morning right here. So you got GFS, you got Canadian, and the Euro all right there on the 8:15. So that's confident. Whether it does that we gotta wait and see. All right. Oh, let's take a look at some other models here. I can't believe we went up past 10 o'clock, man. Jeez. Let me show you the UK. So it's Emily's move-in day today. I'm trying not to think about it, but we're going to be doing that. So tomorrow might not be alive. But I will need your help getting through this. All right, so here's the UK. Here's the 13th, 14th. So it's on par. It only goes out 168 hours. So this is the 13th. It's starting to show some sort of low. So there's 4 models showing the same thing. And then the KMA. I'm pretty sure it will too. I haven't even looked today. You can see it right there. There it is right there. This is the Friday. This is almost Saturday morning, this little dot. And you're like, what is that? That's just low pressure. It's not scary looking enough, so let's make it look scary. Let's look at 850, and you'll start to see a little bump right there. It's not that bad. But it's starting to show right there anyways. And then it kind of develops it a little bit by Jamaica. So Ian, you know, you're obviously watching too, right? And there's our little bump here around the 17th on the KMA model. So we got, and look, here's that other little wave popping up right there. So if you look at the 17th, you know, these little guys here, the GFS wasn't really that far off with a crazy idea. The Euro on the 18th is here. So the KMA is really close. See, this is the 18th. Boom, boom. And last night's GFS that everybody was making fun of, do we even have any? Why we get pressure ranges? Let's go to the 18th on the GFS. That was not that run. It was last night's 18Z. So here's the 18th. So, I mean, arguably, it's not, and it just had to do this. Like, that was what got everybody going. It formed them both. This is the bottom. That was the last picture. A 935 hurricane and a 941 hurricane. But honestly, if you think about it, the other models are not far off with the basic concept of 2 systems, possibly one curving, one not. I mean, look at that. So all you all that laughed at GFS, take it back. Because look, boom, I mean, boom, boom on the Euro. I don't know. Somebody's getting scared right now. But I think it was good info, man. You know, I'm very hard on myself, and I think the messaging is good. I get a little bothered when some don't understand it, and I think that's why we're going to take a positive approach and ban those people. Then they don't have to stress about misreading my message. Because this one lady today was just going, oh my God. But then I usually click on her profile, and then it's like, oh, now I understand. All right, we're going to say a few more hellos. Positive band. Somebody today already. Good. So, what is up, Mr. Gus? Gus, you bounce around everywhere. I see you on YouTube and Facebook. That was a good day today, so I can leave it at that. I'm going to post a little bit about Bermuda. Gary, take out the trash. Daniel, I'm going to say hi for a few minutes, okay, while we sip on coffee. Then we're going to pop over to the Brew Crew. Hey, we had a lot of new Brew Crewers. Who's new in the Brew Crew? Brew Crew is kind of like our fan club. I was watching the old Earnhardt movie the other day, and the best 4 episodes I've ever seen in my life. And I text Shelly, I'm like, it's not really, we're kind of a fan club of MWP. Not me, but of what we represent. So we might go old school, kind of make a fan club card thing. Maybe I'll do that for your Christmas. We always mail something at Christmas time. 100% we're going to do that. We're going to do an old school fan club. Because we always give our Brew Crew stuff for Christmas. Liz is at work. Where you at work? Texas Hill Country. Jennifer Love. Yay. You look familiar, Jennifer. I'm looking at your profile. I don't know. Oh, let's see. A couple more things here. Hey, James. Thanks, buddy. We'll be all right. Fan badge card. That's it. Yeah. I'm going to look at an old Earnhardt fan club. Oh, why am I talking to myself now? Earnhardt fan club. I'm going to look at like a 1990s, what they used to mail back in the day. I did 1990. I guarantee there'll be an image come up. Man, the old school shirts back then were so awesome. No tropical weather, Aaron. Okay, you got it. No launch. Yeah, I don't know about the launches. Somebody asked about the launches, Harold. Crystal River, Brandy, how's it going? That's where we got Little Longo. Gaming Channel Third Wave Euro Ensembles. Is that the one that's coming? Yeah, that one's the one that's. I know what you're talking about. Is Bobby here? Where's Bobby? Where's Hurricane Harbor? Any old school trackers out there know what I'm talking about? We tend to get a brief weakness, and we sometimes get a curve, but then we get the high bill back in, then we get a little curve. It's kind of seems like we're setting up for a high, and and what's kind of making sense of this is hazardous heat coming into play. That means hurricane heat's coming back. No front lines. If we don't get a front coming down, then we're going to have a blocking high, and we're going to have more chances for storms to go a little more to the west. So this would be for the one that messes up Daytona for me. Now, I'm not saying the race might get messed up. Well, if it hits over there, yes. They won't be able to race that week when there's people traveling in. Let's look at the Euro AI. Austin got me busted yesterday because I've shared the Euro AI to him, and he's like, "But you said you didn't like it." Oh, Shelly's already made a card for me. Julie's probably yelling at me. I told her we'd be done. Oh, look at that. She found a picture. Yeah, look at that. Oh, the certificate's kind of neat. Oh, wait, stop with your text. But that looks cool. I like it. So Euro AI, oh man, I don't know. It hasn't been great this year. Yeah, it did so good last year. This year it's failed so many times. But it's showing basically the worst case scenario. This would be Friday, August 22nd. Let's hope the Euro AI continues to be wrong, because it's pretty much been consistent with we need to name that wave that's not on radar yet. But this is, the 20. So again, let's look at timing. I mean, the only thing the Euro AI is correct about, 15th, right here, right? 15th. With the others. And it's just kind of doing that. Now, this is the time of year, like I said, we don't get a lot of fronts, so we don't really get the hook that we normally see in September, October. So these type of systems typically, if it's going to be this far down, would typically continue on to that west track or northwest track. Yesterday's 18Z, it's pretty dang consistent. The last several runs, man. I mean, it's showing something. I mean, that's damn consistent. The only thing that is consistent are the ensembles are showing more of a curve. So until those come down, then I'm not raising the alert level yet. I'm curious what the ensembles are for the AI, because see, now this doesn't make sense. I mean, basically, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why all these ensembles are doing a recurve, but all the operational runs are still like that. So it's tricky. I mean, usually the ensembles are, the average. But I'm cautious here. But it hasn't even exited yet. So first and foremost, 15th, right here somewhere. Oh, that's even cooler, Shelly. I like that one. All right, I'm gonna sign off. So we'll do something fun tomorrow. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we'll figure it out. Just, if you're curious if we're gonna be live or not, watch social, and I always post right here if we're gonna be live or not. Right there. So, and then we'll do it again Monday, and maybe over the weekend. I don't know. I do those little 90-second reels, so those are important. As long as I do those, I'm not too worried about it. But things I'm watching for are Bermuda. And basically the 12Z models, because we got a building high pressure coming back in, and that might allow something to get over here a little bit more. But anyway, all right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Not what the outcome is. That's what the Rays say when the Rays lose. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, just not the outcome. And anyway, Mason, yeah, how's she doing? How's it? First cut, yeah. Mason's up for athlete of the year. Made top 20. There you go. Hey, that's cool. Anyway, all right. Have a great Thursday, and I'll be posting a bunch here throughout the day. So we got some stuff to watch. Again, there's nothing on there to worry about. Carolina's, this thing ain't gonna do anything. It looks like it's gonna follow Dexter, and we got some rain coming. I've already showed that. No washout. Don't cancel plans. And there you go. All right. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow. All right.